Today in your Community Focus, we continue hearing about efforts to rebuild the economy and the long-term impacts of the pandemic on our finances. Well, today at 4, we are joined live via Zoom by Jeff Massey, financial advisor from Massey & Associates.
Jeff, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I want to talk about the overall state of the economy to start. We often track unemployment numbers, and the July jobs report was positive. But some are still a little bit concerned that the Delta variant might throw a wrench in things. So what's your current read on the health of the U.S. economy?
Well, when you look at the bigger picture, the International Monetary Fund had projected gross domestic product to be about 3.1% about 6 months ago. Well, they recently adjusted that to 6.4%, more than double. So from a bigger picture, the expectation is that the economy will continue to improve. However, we do have to be concerned about the Delta variant, as we don't really know what's going to happen. Personally, as I'm out and about, I'm seeing more people that are wearing masks. So, there's certainly a concern that people have that this Delta variant could actually have a bit of an impact on local businesses.
Now, certainly we've seen in a lot of cases interest rates have been at record lows for a while now. There's often the other argument that says, well, this can't last forever. What do we know is coming down the pipeline that will impact rates like that?
Oh, that's a great question. The Fed is in kind of a bit of a crazy position. Their job is to stimulate the economy when it's needed and to taper off when it's not. So they are still currently buying $80 billion a month of U.S. Treasuries and $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities every month to keep the economy going well. So they have to balance that out, because if they continue too long, they risk the market running a bit hot. And if they taper too soon, it could slow down the economy. So they have this balancing act going on that they have to try to determine when it's going to happen. Now, realistically, based on everything that we're reading, we would anticipate the Feds would start raising rates in 2023. We do think that the fourth quarter of 2022, that some people have mentioned, we think that might be a little premature. The Fed would have to kind of give notice that they're going to start the tapering program, and they would normally do that a month or two before they start to slow down the purchases of the U.S. securities and the mortgage-backed securities. Now, what that translates to the everyday person is interest rates will highly likely go up at that point. Now, mortgage rates right now are awesome. They're historically low rates. And you look at car loans as well. So if you're a buyer and you intend to buy something, in the near term, I would say take advantage of it within the next 12 to 18 months before the tapering starts, which would then force the Feds to raise the interest rates and then put it into a position where the consumer rates will be going up as well.
Jeff, speaking of buying things, it seems like almost everything has become more expensive. And to Brian's point about this can't last forever, should we be prepared to buckle in for the long haul here, or does it seem like this is a temporary impact of the pandemic?
Again, everything that we're reading appears to point towards this is transitory inflation, that we would anticipate that once the federal stimulus goes away in September, there's going to be fewer dollars flowing into people's pockets, so therefore they have less money to spend on discretionary things. And as employment gets reactivated in the supply chain and the supply chain increases, well, that should help to lower or bring into balance the inflation. So although it's temporarily at a higher annualized rate, we don't expect that to be permanent. And we're hoping by the fourth quarter that will start to calm down and get back into that 2% range that the Fed likes to have as a target.
It'd certainly be welcome relief to start spending a little bit less on everything. Jeff Massey of Massey & Associates, thank you so much for your time today.
Always a pleasure.